The ancient Egyptians were known not just for their monumental achievements like the pyramids and mummification, but also for some truly fascinating and unusual customs. While these traditions may seem strange to us today, they were deeply ingrained in the Egyptians' way of life, spirituality, and culture. From intriguing beauty practices to unique hygiene rituals, they left behind a legacy of customs that continue to captivate historians. So let's dive into 14 of the weirdest and most interesting practices from ancient Egypt. And as you watch, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us for more captivating stories from history. 1. Shaping skulls for beauty and status. To the ancient Egyptians, beauty wasn't just about facial features, it extended to the shape of one's skull. High-status families would bind the heads of infants to elongate their skulls, creating a cone-like shape that was seen as a sign of beauty, privilege, and power. This practice, known as cranial shaping, might seem bizarre or even otherworldly to us today, but back then, it was a mark of elite status. Starting from a young age, children's skulls were gently shaped to give them this distinct appearance, which set the upper class apart from everyone else. Can you imagine the dedication it took to create such a look? While we might associate such practices with alien theories, for the Egyptians, it was all about maintaining social superiority through their unique version of beauty. 2. Kohl, the ancient Egyptian eye makeup with a purpose. In ancient Egypt, kohl wasn't just a cosmetic choice for dramatic, beautiful eyes. It was so much more. Both men and women would line their eyes with this dark substance, not only to enhance their appearance, but also to protect against evil spirits and infections. Made from crushed minerals like galena and malachite, kohl had properties that acted as a shield from the intense desert sun and even helped to prevent eye diseases. What's fascinating is that this daily ritual was a blend of practicality and spiritual devotion. The dark lines drawn around their eyes symbolized the protective power of the Eye of Horus, believed to keep harmful forces at bay. Kohl's influence didn't stop in ancient times. Its legacy continues to inspire makeup trends even today, reminding us of Egypt's timeless cultural impact. It's incredible to think that something so simple could have such a deep spiritual and practical role in their everyday lives. Truly, the ancient Egyptians' ability to merge beauty with purpose is a lesson that continues to resonate today. 3. Crocodile dung as contraception. Unbelievable but true. Talk about resourcefulness. In ancient Egypt, women had to get creative when it came to contraception, and one of the most surprising solutions involved using crocodile dung mixed with honey. Yes, you read that right. This odd-sounding mixture was believed to have spermicidal properties, with the alkaline nature of the crocodile dung acting as a barrier to pregnancy. While this method may seem shocking and unpleasant to us today, it demonstrates how the Egyptians relied on natural resources to tackle health and fertility challenges. Their innovative spirit, even in such personal matters, speaks volumes about their deep understanding of nature's properties. No matter how bizarre the method might seem to modern sensibilities, it's fascinating how even in the most personal aspects of life, the Egyptians found ways to adapt and innovate using the resources they had on hand. This method, while unconventional, shows their creativity and resilience in managing fertility long before modern science. 4. Tomb bathrooms, the afterlife necessity you never expected. While we think of bathrooms as purely a modern luxury, the ancient Egyptians took the concept to a whole new level, even for the dead. Believe it or not, many tombs were built with bathrooms, complete with toilets, so the deceased could take care of bodily needs in the afterlife. The Egyptians believed that the spirit carried on with much of the same routine as in life, which included daily tasks like using the bathroom. It wasn't just a quirky architectural feature. It symbolized the Egyptian view that the afterlife was simply a continuation of their earthly existence. This practice highlights their deep belief in the continuity of life and death, blending the physical and spiritual in a way that may seem strange to us today. Even in the next world, the Egyptians left nothing to chance. Even the basics were covered. 5. Moldy bread, the ancient Egyptian version of antibiotics. Imagine healing a wound with moldy bread. That's exactly what the ancient Egyptians did. While it may sound odd, this practice was surprisingly effective because the mold produced natural antibiotics, much like today's penicillin. Without understanding the science behind it, Egyptians used this method to prevent infections and speed up recovery. Through observation and experimentation, they stumbled upon one of nature's hidden healing powers. Their use of moldy bread to treat wounds shows just how innovative and ahead of their time they were. It's a fascinating reminder that even without modern medicine, ancient civilizations found ingenious ways to harness nature's cures. 6. Hatshepsut's false beard, power, gender, and mystery. One of ancient Egypt's most remarkable female rulers, Pharaoh Hatshepsut, is famously depicted wearing a false beard, a symbol traditionally reserved for male kings. This striking choice raises many questions about her reign and the role of gender in ancient Egyptian leadership. Was this false beard a strategic move to assert her authority in a male-dominated world, or simply a traditional part of royal attire? Some scholars argue that Hatshepsut wore it to reinforce her legitimacy, aligning herself with the image of male pharaohs to strengthen her rule. Others believe it symbolized her embodiment of both masculine and feminine traits, emphasizing her unique position as a female king. Whatever the reason, Hatshepsut's decision to wear the false beard showcases her political acumen and remains a symbol of her powerful and intriguing legacy. She not only challenged gender norms, but left an indelible mark on Egypt's history. 7. Beyond cats, the sacred animals of Egypt. While cats are famous for their sacred status in ancient Egypt, the Egyptians' reverence for animals went far beyond felines. Many creatures such as jackals, scarabs, and crocodiles were also considered sacred, representing various gods and playing key roles in religious practices. For example, Bastet, the goddess of fertility and home protection, was often depicted as a lioness or a domestic cat. Jackals, connected with Anubis, the god of mummification and the afterlife, symbolized protection, while scarab beetles were linked with transformation and rebirth. These animals weren't just companions or symbols, they were seen as earthly manifestations of the divine, bridging the gap between humans and the spiritual world. The Egyptians' deep connection with the animal kingdom reflected their belief in the sacredness of all life forms, elevating these creatures to divine status in their mythology. 8. Tattoos, ancient symbols of protection. Long before modern civilizations emerged, the ancient Egyptians were already practicing the art of tattooing. Archaeologists have discovered mummies adorned with tattoos, particularly on women, with intricate patterns of spirals and dots on their chest, abdomen, and thighs. These tattoos weren't just decorative, they were believed to provide protection, especially during pregnancy and childbirth. The act of getting a tattoo was viewed as a sacred ritual, connecting the individual to divine blessings and safeguarding them from harm. For ancient Egyptian women, these tattoos acted like spiritual armor, invoking the favor of gods and goddesses to ensure a healthy pregnancy. This practice beautifully illustrates how the Egyptians merged body art with their deep spiritual beliefs, seeing tattoos as a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. 9. Animal mummification, sacred offerings to the gods. We often think of mummification as something reserved for humans, but in ancient Egypt, animals were also preserved with the same reverence. Cats, dogs, birds, and even crocodiles were mummified and buried as offerings to the gods, reflecting their sacred status in Egyptian society. These animal mummies weren't just companions. They were seen as powerful symbols of devotion, ensuring the animal's eternal presence in the afterlife. Egyptians believed that animals possessed divine energy and were essential in the spiritual realm, which is why they took such care in preserving them. From sacred pets to symbolic sacrifices, the mummification of animals highlights the Egyptians' deep connection with the animal world and their belief in the spiritual power these creatures held. By ensuring the animal's preservation, they ensured their eternal protection and place in the divine order. Baboons, the ancient Egyptian crime fighters. In a fascinating twist of history, ancient Egyptians actually trained baboons to assist in law enforcement. Depictions from as early as the 5th dynasty show these clever animals chasing down criminals, biting and holding them until the authorities arrived. Imagine baboons on leashes, acting as furry enforcers of justice. Beyond their crime-fighting duties, baboons were also trained to pick fruit and even perform dances, showing just how versatile and intelligent these animals were. Their aggressive nature and sharp instincts made them the perfect assistants for maintaining order. This unique use of baboons further highlights how the Egyptians skillfully integrated animals into their daily lives, utilizing their abilities for tasks that ranged from agriculture to law enforcement. 11. Unusual dental care in ancient Egypt. When it came to dental hygiene, ancient Egyptians had some pretty unusual practices. To clean their teeth, they used a mixture of ground pumice stone, eggshells, and ashes. A combination that may sound harsh, but it got the job done. This abrasive paste helped scrub away food particles, although it likely wasn't the most comfortable experience. For fresh breath, they mixed pepper, flowers, and salt, creating an early form of breath fresheners. Although their methods were far from what we use today, they were surprisingly effective for their time. Despite the discomfort, these ancient cleaning techniques allowed Egyptians to maintain relatively healthy teeth compared to many other civilizations of the era. 12. Cleopatra's luxurious milk baths, beauty and abundance. Cleopatra, Egypt's iconic beauty queen, was known for her extravagant beauty rituals, and perhaps her most famous indulgence was her daily bath in sour donkey milk. While it might sound odd, the lactic acid in the milk acted as a natural exfoliant, gently removing dead skin cells and leaving her skin soft and glowing. Cleopatra didn't just dip into any old bath. She reportedly kept thousands of donkeys to ensure a constant supply of this luxurious beauty product. Her milk baths weren't just about skin care. They were a symbol of her immense wealth and power. This lavish routine showcased her status as one of the most powerful women of the ancient world, a legacy that lives on in tales of her legendary beauty. 13. Tutankhamun's enemy stomping sandals, power at his feet. Though young King Tutankhamun wasn't known for military triumphs, he found a unique way to symbolically conquer his enemies, right under his feet. Found in his tomb were sandals adorned with images of his enemies, from Africans to Asians, etched into the soles. Each step the pharaoh took was a symbolic act of trampling his foes, reinforcing his power and dominance even in the simplest of daily acts. These weren't just ordinary sandals. They were a powerful statement that the king's authority followed him wherever he went. Even in everyday life, the young ruler kept a reminder of his supremacy, a clever way to ensure his enemies were always beneath him, quite literally. 14. Baboons guarding the dead, tomb protectors in action. In one of the more unexpected customs, ancient Egyptians trained baboons to act as guardians of tombs and sacred sites. Known for their intelligence and aggression, these animals were fierce protectors, ensuring that intruders dared not disturb the resting places of the dead. In some depictions, baboons are shown not only guarding but also participating in religious ceremonies. Their association with Thoth, the god of wisdom, added a spiritual layer to their duties as tomb protectors. These loyal, watchful baboons weren't just physical guards. They were symbolic protectors of the deceased's spiritual journey, ensuring safe passage into the afterlife. This unique practice highlights the Egyptians' deep reverence for animals and their role in both the physical and spiritual realms. The world of ancient Egypt was filled with customs that, while strange to us, were deeply meaningful to them. From beauty routines that showcased wealth to symbolic gestures of power and the spiritual role animals played, the Egyptians lived in a society where every act carried significance. Their fascinating practices continue to amaze us, offering a glimpse into a civilization that blended the physical and spiritual in every aspect of life. Be sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and let us know in the comments which of these ancient Egyptian traditions fascinated you the most.